Hi, I'm Jane Barnes with Jane Barnes Interiors and BB&R Design Build. We are here today at a beautifully finished project in Wayland, Massachusetts for a delightful family. And this was a very entailed project with an addition, brand new kitchen, pantry, mudroom, baker's pantry, and a beautiful sunroom plus some exterior work. But this project came to us from a fantastic business colleague who is an architect, GMT Architects in Ashland.
Yeah, GMT Home Designs is a design partner we work with on quite a few projects. And a lot of times customers come to us in the beginning when it's just a thought in their head, but we also have design partners like GMT Home Designs where we'll have projects that they bring to us. So this one came initially from him after the main design work had already been completed, but not the interior design work that Jane handled or the cabinetry design. So the main shell of the space was primarily set, but we took it from there to work out all the beautiful stuff that Jane put together.
And so one of the things that these clients wanted, avid cooks and just loves to cook food and enjoy food. So that's why the extended space was important, to really give enough room for all of the family, but particularly the head of the household, who is the main chef. Plenty of room for him to, do everything that he wanted to do. So having two islands, having a workspace and, a function space for, working, schoolwork, eating, two sinks, an operating sink and a dishwashing sink was really important, in addition to having a pantry with another dishwasher, sink, storage areas. It's a great place to stage things when you're preparing food and serving food. So this is really a fantastic space for someone who loves to cook, and also for people who love to eat. And it's light and it's bright and it's just so much storage with lots of interesting details. We have a twin column refrigerator and freezer. We have a pull-out for all of the jars and the bottles and the olive oils. We have two microwaves. We have lots of really interesting built-ins here. We have a built-in over here with a printer. We have another built-in with a paper shredder, because part of this was, it's obviously a kitchen for cooking and eating, but it's also a place where the family lives. They do homework, they do, projects. So having the storage for all of those things is really important. Nobody wants to look at that clutter, but all of the things are important. So there's just tons of storage for all of those needs, and to really operate in a space with comfort and having guests over while you're in the midst of all of these things. It's fantastic. We have seating here for 4. We have more seating at the island. There's just a number of areas where if someone's cooking in one spot or rinsing or all of the things, you can still be in the space comfortably and not get in the way of the food preparation or any projects that are happening in here.
So overall, a project like this, the overall timeline, like I mentioned, this originally came to us from GMT Home Designs, who already had the main architectural piece completed, but we still have time that we need to allot for the interior design time. We walk through with our subs and get them to look at everything so we can work out that scope of work. Jane needs to work closely with the client to pick out everything: cabinetry, countertops, backsplash, flooring, light fixtures, all that stuff. So we need to allow a couple of months of time anyway for that to take place before we get to final construction agreement, where we have everything as much as possible spelled out, specified, detailed, so we can go to construction as tightly organized and set as possible. And then the overall construction, I think we started pretty much in July, and we're right up to the Christmas push and got them operational for Christmas and guest arrival. So it was about 6 months, a project like this. We included an addition, gutting the space, and a pretty good area that was getting renovated.
So the aesthetic for this space, these clients are very dynamic, they are very cultured, they explore the world. So I wanted this space to be sophisticated but also approachable and light and bright and clean, because the kitchen, there are so many things happening in there that it needs to be beautiful but functional. So we came up with this beautiful aesthetic with white cabinetry, which is really a dove white, and then this beautiful Hudson blue cabinetry for the island. So we get that balance of some depth with the islands and then the lighter, brighter tonality with the surrounding cabinets. And then we have this fantastic focal point of this light fixture here, which is pulling in the depth from the island, and then this backsplash, which is connecting the light aspect of the cabinetry and the depth of the island. So it's really threading that design tapestry in a beautiful way. The gold accents is a lovely juxtaposition to the cool tones of the blue, but it gives us that richness that's so beautiful. And we carried that through with the light fixtures. So these are an updated lantern style here. So wanted to have symmetry and balance between the two islands with enough lighting. So we have these hanging light fixtures in addition to the recessed lights. We have under cabinet lighting, sconces on the windows on the exterior wall there to just add in a little more interest in lighting over there. The hood has some lighting, and then we have this fantastic light fixture over the table. So, you know, as with anything, I don't like for designs to be too matchy-matchy. I wanted the islands to have that same balance and proportion, but then have something that's interesting, like a really fun first cousin who is still beautiful and lovely, has the gold finish, but it has a different shape, it has a different interest, and it really calls attention to this area, which is the dining area, and it's separate from the rest of the kitchen, but it's still connected. So you can see the continuity of the aesthetic, and they're balanced and they're lovely, but they're not perfect match. In addition to the sconces above the sink over here, they have that gold tone finish, and they almost have sort of a nautical or coastal aesthetic to them, which is really lovely because that's really what comes to mind when you think of navy and white. So it really balances out beautifully. We have these golden faucets by Kohler. We have golden hardware. All of the hardware are pulls in varying sizes. Part of that is for the aesthetic. It's very clean and beautiful and contemporary, but it's also ADA compliant because it requires much less dexterity to open a pull than it does a knob, but it also just adds to the overall clean, modern look of the space.